had one little, two little, three little Indian grandmas, but society keep killing them, telling me, much, telling me. I had one little, two little, three little Indian grandmas, but society keep killing them, telling me.
ID. This license says you Indian.
Maybe I ought to eat your cornbread.
Shit. Oh, motherfucker, you can't have my cornbread. That's for damn sure. If you trying to take my cornbread, part 2 of my killing spree gonna begin up in here on your ass right now. If you think about my cornbread, get the taste out your mouth. That's for damn sure. Now, fuck him. Fuck that, because I'm from New York City, goddammit. Nobody take no cornbread from me. And that go for you and any other you motherfucking farmers want to try some shit.
Live in America. Something wrong. This bitch is my mama. And yours too. Except I know it's mine.
I had one little, two little, three little Indian grandmas, but society keep killing them, telling me, much, telling me. I had one little, two little, three little Indian grandmas, but society keep killing them, telling me, much, telling me. House nigga, real nigga, fake nigga, feel nigga. My skin is black, what the deal, nigga? Salute on my real citizens, Aborigines, owners of the land and every goddamn tree and every goddamn sea. Invaders of a cross, step foot on the land and you can set the fuck off. Brave, you can make a swing the sacred tomahawk. Fucking around with us with that black conscious dog. Fake pics of slave shit, that's the reference. Brave with African, look, you gon' need more evidence. I'm American. Aboriginal, indigenous, Chipokee, latex. That shit is rhetoric. Stay woke, Aboriginal, get out. Your civil rights acts, all you need, big out. The Stockholm syndrome, make the skits out. Phoenix Moon got the antidote, get that shit out. Meanwhile, I'm rapping about my birthright, fuck a freestyle. Teach each man, each woman, each child. Black race is really Indians indeed now. Man, indeed now. Holly Dog, Title 18, G goes. Pilgrims get big gold with Phoenix and big smoke. Bringing my peoples out of the sleep mode. We ain't black, colors, Africans, or Negroes. One little, two little, three little Indian grandmas, but society keep getting them, telling me.
How you do? 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 What's happening, beloved ones? Now, what it look like? What's up, beautiful ones? How y'all doing? I hope that everything is healthy. I hope y'all had a real good New Year. Drop a 1 in the chat. Just so I can know that you guys can hear me. Drop a 1. One time. One time. Can you beautiful ones hear me? Let me see. Right on. There you go. Renzo, what's happening, family? Kim folks. What's happening, beloved ones? How y'all beautiful ones doing? Cherokee PZ. Hey, beloved man of the Cherokee. Player, what's up, good brother? I see you posting, getting up algorithms, popping on Instagram. I'm enjoying your stuff. I'll be liking all your stuff you got going on. Good to see y'all around in these other places. It's exciting to see some of y'all. That's a fact. Hold on, I gotta take that now. But yeah, everything is healthy. I hope y'all doing well. Give me 1 second. Let me fix this real quick. Hold on, we'll share. The logo, I don't know why I have it in the chat. I can see the chat, but I wanted you guys to be able to see it, so I'll fix that and deal with the resolution and all of that. So anyway, what's happening out there? Word about Indian country. Let's go. Work around a campfire. Got a few things to talk about. Y'all know I've been kind of doing what I do, but I've been mobbing on Clubhouse. I have been on Clubhouse a little bit, a lot more frequently than I was. Yeah, so it's been all right. It's been all right over there. A lot of things have happened. Different ways to monetize and the content creation and stuff like that. Some really cool people dropping some, dope gems and shit like that. The sound is low. Let me see. Is that better? Is that better? Let me see. Okay, is that better? Okay, can you hear me now? I think that should work. Drop the one. You can hear me? All right. So, like I was saying, there was a lot of stuff, good stuff going on. I've actually been on Clubhouse. It's been cool experiences over there. Meeting, getting reacquainted, bumping into some old heads, and you never know what people life changes, sent people in different directions. All these wonderful different things, just good energy, and it's so crazy. Like we have this group of people that I've known since like forever. So it's about people from elementary school. We're still all friends. We're all still friends. Pre-K 1979. So we're looking to do things together. It's so crazy. Everybody's went in their own directions in life. But our formative, those wonder year kids, the riding on the back of the banana seat, like there's so many of them that are still alive. And lots of different things. So it's great to connect to somebody. And, I had changed my name. I got my tribal name, my spirit name. So when one of my friends was looking for Tanisha West, of course, you don't see it. But now he finally gets in touch, with some of the other people. And I go on one post and he's like, oh, shit, I've been looking for you for years. So this is so great. It's so great to bump into people. They got a lot of shit going on. Like some people are like really super important. Everybody is just healthy. And that shit is a cool ass fucking connection. Like we got fucking memories, like playing Skelly and shit. Like nobody like that fucking feeling of people that know you from the fucking dirt. That shit is right. And the check us out now shit, that shit is fucking amazing. That shit is amazing. Word up. Yeah, cousin, you see that? Niggas got the gray hair, the salt and pepper. This is the people that we were with, fucking fighting over the swing or no two front teeth and shit, Hilarious. So that's been going on. Definitely ready to spin the streets. We got some powerful shit going to happen. The women are going to do so well on YouTube. This true matriarchs. I did the matriarch series first, right? We did the first matriarch series back in 2017 or 2018. So there's just some beautiful, powerful women for real that could pass the background check. I promise. Ain't no mug shots gonna be floating around and shit, right? No bad shit attached to their names. But this is gonna be wonderful. Definitely people that are bomb ass researchers. And then we got our beloved historical person that is going to be pulling up, doing what she does. And I'm super excited. So this year, this Gregorian calendar, it's gonna be a lot more. We had to sit back and take care of things, live life on life's terms, and all of those great things, the good, bad, and the motherfucking indifferent. And we all know motherfucking life can be good, bad, or indifferent at any given time. So how you handle yourself in times when life is absolutely nothing but, that is the true motherfucking character. You understand what I'm saying? When you really going through shit and you still able to, contain yourself. One thing Grandma said, She said you can shit in one hand. She said hold up both your hands, and one for shits and one for wishes, and see which one get pulled up first. So just being able to go back and get some of those, you get that re-energy, you fucking put your, I know where to go to the charging stations and shit, you know what I'm saying? Some people like specific gas stations, they're familiar, they're predictable, they're gonna go to that gas station, right? Me, I have a specific energy source. I don't have a master teacher telling me shit. I am a master teacher. I don't have a master teacher telling me shit. I have a whole bunch of ancestors that, help guide me and definitely fucking protect me, right? And then there's the actual bloodline relatives that I've, surrounded myself around. But I also have my external sources, right? For when I'm low on things, I can go get charged up, Nigga call Phoenix, yo, this is going on. Phoenix got you. If I can do anything about it, I fuck with you, we gonna work through it, right? And I ain't gonna abandon you and shit right before it look real and shit. We follow things up to the end, right? And then do the follow-up, right? So now, it's the same thing. You have to find a way to replenish, right? You have to find a way to replenish yourself and definitely charge into the right sources. So surrounding yourself with the right people at the right time for the right reasons, that aren't injurious or harmful, because you can't go stealing from somebody else just to supply your own source, right? But the shit that they give away free, you should respect it, right? The genuine shit, The genuine shit. So, but it is good to see y'all. It's good to be back on the presentation. I ain't gonna do too much, but I definitely wanted to run through the urban Indian country news. Somehow I'm going to get the show No Country for Old Men up here. It doesn't allow you to transfer it, but if you like, I will drop it in Discord. You can actually, if you have the Clubhouse app, which you can download it on Android now. So if you have a tablet, whatever, if you have the Clubhouse app, sign up. We had a few clubs. We have Dub House Scholars. That is the most recent club. And Dub House Scholars is where we debunk all the bullshit. That's where we gonna have the shits at, right? If you on the internet and you're talking bullshit, you're getting dragged in Dub House Scholars. Okay? You're going to get dragged in Dub House Scholars. We're going to talk about you. We're going to expose the bad information, the inaccuracies, the belligerents. We're not going to play, right? See, before when you let people kind of, then look at what they did. They still got fucked up and then they got mad that they got fucked up. You know what I'm saying? When you told them, motherfucker, don't go in that oven, right? Don't put your hand on it. And they still was like, I'm going to touch it and see how hot it is. Fuck it. And then be mad that a motherfucker told you it was hot. And you did it anyway. And you still mad when somebody, the psychological shit. But motherfucker, we ain't going through that. We ain't going through that. It's a lot of stuff going on. I hope you've been challenging things in your community where you live at, since all of us Indians don't all live together. Right? Since we don't all live in the same place, I hope that you've been making things tight for you and yours in your community. Right? You got to make it tight for you and yours in your community. So you can't be a lot of time spent wasting it on places that's not going to bring you any sort of solution or panacea. Right? So. But it's definitely getting built in. Let me pull up some of these things I wanted to run through. So, cute little things. And let me just do my lamentation. Hold on. I got to make myself a little bigger for this. Hold on. I got to make myself a little bigger for this because. Let me make myself a little bigger. Because this is serious. Okay? So, I want to know why Bruce Beach. The deadline has now passed. Has people been keeping up with the Bruce Beach thing? Drop a 1 in the chat and drop a 1 if you know anything about the situation with the land in California that belonged to the people of color. that they were trying to get it back. Can somebody please drop a 1 in the chat if you understand what it is that I'm speaking about? The situation with Bruce Beach. And there's the reason why I'm asking. And then I'm also asking, what is it that you know about Bruce Beach? Let me see. Thank you, Star Child. So, the Bruce Beach situation, it's the problem. Specifically because there was the deadline of New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve was the deadline for the descendants. Now, word around the campfire is there was some aboriginals running around here talking about they helped with the Bruce Beach situation. How many people have been contacted in regards to any ancestry to the Bruces of that situation? Can you drop a turtle in the chat? Drop a turtle in the chat. If you have been contacted because someone that is handling the genealogy for the Bruce Beach situation contacted you prior to December 31st. I'm trying to see something. I want to know if everybody getting what they've been paying for. Whether it's time, whether it's donations, whether you hitting a nigga Cash App or Patreon. I want to know if you getting your motherfucking money's worth or not. I'm interested in finding out if anybody has been contacted regarding being a descendant of any of those Willa and Mr. Bruce. So the answer is no. So if the answer is no, that's pretty fucking crazy. Yeah, the Bruce, Manhattan Beach. It should be called Bruce's Beach. That is exactly right, Renzo. Manhattan Beach, right? It's exactly right. That's exactly right. That situation had a deadline, but I also heard that there were people in the Aboriginal community speaking on assisting Bruce Beach, Manhattan Beach people. Right? And that shit took a whole new spun, the way that shit ended up shaking out. And December 31st, now what's happening is these pilgrims, right? They're making a DNA. And none of these niggas acquiesce. So I'm going to tell y'all, these motherfuckers is lying. And you want to know what? I'm not being no Captain Save-A-Ho going behind no lying-ass motherfucker. No, sir. Right? You know how grandma's boat, niggas is drilling holes in her shit, and you gotta put one foot over here, right? Then you gotta put a fucking arm up over here. You got another nigga drilling a hole once you before you know it, niggas is playing Twister, trying to patch the holes on the fucking boat that motherfuckers is drilling. You know, the belligerent ones that know you got the hard-headed motherfuckers, you know, like back in the days, they know you got a waterbed and they sitting in your shit with keys all in their pocket, right? Had them baggy-ass pants back in the days. They didn't even remember what they had in their pockets. Poke, fucking waterbed, just ridiculous people. Come off the shit. Why do you sit on the motherfucking bed anyway? Them type of people. So now this Bruce Beach shit didn't pan out the way these aboriginals said that they had hands-on shit going on. And I said, damn it, I was going to do this shit New Year's Eve. Right? Just the fucking, you know. But sometimes you could just sit down and watch. You could just sit down and watch. I didn't have to have a lot of time to do a lot of things, but I didn't hear a motherfucking thing about that. And that shit, guess who's related to these Bruces? A lot of people. Especially in the Midwest region. You just thinking Midwest, thinking that land in California. You're descendants. So now it's a situation where there's grandkids, but guess what the fucked up thing is? They're putting DNA to it now. So now the Negroes is getting shut out, and only the pale side of the family is going to have whatever was there because they're the only ones that have made a claim, right? So now there's no group organization. They to this law firm inserts themselves to go and file a claim. They're out putting ads in the New York Post and all these other different newspapers, right, in different places to notify people that's following the Manhattan Beach if you have any boost genealogy. So this means that if you have a cousin, any of the blood, it was the perfect time for you to insert yourself. Now these pilgrims got it, right? Yes, they do. And you better not be motherfucking mad at all. Niggas let that shit happen in their lifetime. Don't let that shit go back to 1968. Don't talk about the Jesuits. Niggas ruining shit real time right now. Because we acquiesce. The Moors tell the niggas don't acquiesce. The niggas is acquiescing to situations that's wide open space for a motherfucker to get their land back. I be so sick of these motherfuckers just sitting there just talking shit. And niggas love them lies. God damn it. Fucking awesome what it do. Warrior King, my good brother. O'Shea. Fucking A, this shit is amazing. It's amazing. I'm mad. But quality. Oh, quantity. The quality of time should really have something to even, even out things. I'd say, definitely give decent perspective. If anything, great shit to fucking for persuasive reasons that you need, shooting your shot. It's been a wild ride, right? It's been a wild ride. And there's a lot of good things that happen in the interim. And I think that as long as people was paying attention, and I'm not talking about the look at all the rabbits dancing around in a circle, right? That's what niggas want you to look at. But do you see the fucking turtle on the skateboard riding by? Or are you just watching the rabbits dance in the middle of the motherfucking floor? Turtle! It's the year of the turtle for real. Right? Not the crab. Not the Krabby Patty. Right? Not no outdated fucking tribal members of motherfuckers that been kicked out 3 years ago. These other tribes that, no. Yeah. Right? Right. Because now at this point, people should have some type of bonds with the family. Like, this is how we do it. Kind so because you should have some kind of juice with their family by now. No, I mean that for somebody. Cousin, somebody. With children, somebody. Sister, siblings, parents, somebody. Auntie, somebody. But yeah, that motherfucking, that Bruce B shit just slid right by, and it's pretty fucked up. So there goes land right there. So when this shit gets made up in history books, don't be mad. Now we can't say we don't want our grandkids reading that. Because that's only going to be the evidence to your grandkids that... Wasn't you woke by then, Grandma? Wasn't you woke by then, Grandpa? What's going to be the excuse? All these things that are going down. So if you can't gauge them with doing the right thing, let them have a perspective of how fucking trill they're creating the future to be even more fucked up than what they say the past is. Yes, indeed. Because now you have children that are going to know that they're Indian and angry as fuck and still think like black kids. They're still going to be hovering. Right? And therefore, it's going to take like 2 more generations for another one to get mad. Maybe 7. I think it's our windows are 7 generations. So we have to have 7 generations. So. That's facts. Right? So, you definitely want to make sure y'all got y'all shit together. Not just bombard them with, what kind of Indian are you? Right? Now that they know their race, why they should know their ethnicity. Huh? Yeah. They should know their ethnicity. Now that they know their race, they should know their ethnicity. It's only fair. Right? So, make sure that the shorties know their ethnicity. Okay? You know, kind of how some of them told the kids they was Nation of Islam, and then, no, we not Islam no more. No, we Christian, then we Islam. No, we not Nation of Islam no more. Now we Hebrew, and now from Hebrew, we Pan African. No, we not Pan African no more. Now we Indian. We always knew we was Indian, but we told you all that other shit. And now, yeah, like, straighten it all out. Straighten it out. If motherfuckers got time to listen to this other shit, niggas got time to straighten out some of these fucking affairs concerning the tribe. That's facts. Gotta be able to handle the shit concerning the tribe. And then, look at how the Babylon shit burning the fuck down. See how that shit going down? Told y'all motherfuckers, it's gonna be a whole nother segment, whole nother story. I ain't going to, because that's the word around America. This here is just about Indian country news and things that affected Indian country in the capacity where either they ready to blow or ready to go. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be either or. Motherfuckers gonna be able to swim, or you gonna motherfucking drown, because this shit is beyond catching momentum. And we're going to talk about that, because there's a lot of pilgrims getting caught. Niggas don't even know. I want the fonts to go. The fonts is getting caught. You bitches ain't even talking about it. They listening to motherfuckers lying about land patents and shit. I hope people have not really been fucking giving all their time away to dumb shit. Right? Because a lot of shit has fucking transpired that affects the American Indian. The Aborigine don't give a fuck about nothing going on in their country, in their house. Shit going on around them. It's a leak over here, right? The baby's over here, they pissing in the bed. This one hungry. That one got an attitude. The wife is miserable. The girlfriend sad. They got it's a lot of stuff going on with them motherfuckers. You can tell, because they are not about strengthening it. They're only showing it because that's who they are. So if they don't want correction, then they want a problem. And, you know, honestly, for somebody that really respects rights, if you say that you are an activist and respect people's rights, that means that you really have to respect the balance and law. For real. Right? Without prejudice. Without prejudice. And I say that so that people understand that everybody's entitled to the same shit that you are. Right? So you can't get your rights and think that you can use that to abuse and violate somebody else's rights. So you see why, for the people that came out of the camps that speak about white people being created in a lab, I'm going to just go from that cell forward, you can see where the damage has occurred, right? So this is something that we can charge the United States, different agencies within them, for what they did to our men. They bastardized them, right? Especially during the Joe Biden administration. And it was at that time that they sent out all of these provocateurs to detour them. While at that point, a lot of these Native American tribes were applying for status through the BIA. while these other niggas was telling you that you was all these other things. You never inserted yourself inside the narrative until now, generations later, okay? It's so real that what they did to our men, that they didn't even know. You ain't gotta shake a stick at these bitches that's gonna kick you out and act like parole can't run down there. That's a fucking lie, right? Because you don't need no kids. Do you know, in my former nonprofit agency that I had, it was geared to avoid recidivism, right? Teaching men how to pay their bills every month when they get out of jail and not have to deal with a woman that was going to abuse them in their legal situation, so that when they re-enter, pointing out to them where they can find the federal board, that lists all of the rules and regulations, so that, if they ever felt discriminated, write down times and dates. They doing their little prejudice stuff, write down stuff like how to watch their ass. Like they can't call parole, and Now the state is different because you don't see, and even though I've seen this fucking niggas got TikTok in prison, they don't take a picture of their parole contract. So it's hard to view that. On the Bureau of Prisons through the feds, it's transparent. So, and you can find it, like in either U.S. Code, you can find it. But the state parole contracts are not that transparent. So we don't know what it is that they're signing. But anyway, they end up being slaves for that country, slaves for that state, right? For whatever time, whatever period of time or whatever. And they have that situation going on. But to be abused in the interim, can't find a job, things like that. And then they don't get diagnosed for post-traumatic stress disorder. Making sure that they're able to do that, because the Social Security Administration indicates that you are disabled if you are taken out of society for a period of 2 years or longer. So why do they what are they signing in the parole contract that they feel that they are obligated to go and seek employment instead of getting treatment for the post-traumatic stress disorder? In addition to the corruption through the parole agencies, via the courthouses, halfway houses, three-quarter houses, that's not even including any type of re-entry into different households and different socioeconomic situations, different paradigms, right? Depending on how long a person has been locked up. But these are some of the things that I know for a fact that we can sue for that they did to our men. The only problem is it's going to be telling the truth about your, and they may have been nice people, right? Just look at what I'm saying and what it did to the Indian. Khalid Muhammad didn't help the Indian. Farrakhan didn't help the Indian. Al Sharpton, none of these people going forward, backwards. Tariq Nasheed, none of these people, right? They still all and do and will always be against the Indian. So why do you feel the need to try and keep saving motherfuckers that say they gonna jump off the boat? The boat that we ain't never been on. Why is that your problem? It's not. It's not. It's not your problem, and it's their problem. So forcing synthetic activations on people, that shit is also whack. And look at the byproduct. Now you got a whole bunch of bum ass fucking nuts out here running around insulting the fuck out of everybody, and ain't got no drop, no smoke at all. Regurgitating other people's shit from years and all that shit cool for a while, right? In them places that motherfuckers don't know they being watched at, but when it comes down to the end game and how it's really supposed to go and how you live in your community, whichever one it is. Some of us live in a few communities, Few communities. California, Vegas, Nevada. How do they feel about you wherever you go, wherever you at, the places you love to be, or you do business or commercial activity? How do they feel you? How do they receive you? What it look like? Right? How many counties do your family span through? Right? Because it ain't just your county. You got cousins that live in other counties too. But It may be within a specific radius or whatever. So when you fucking with the useful understanding and information of how these things go, so that you can no longer have representation, or excuse me, taxation without representation. How do you get into the suit to be able to pursue that and file a suit? You like that? I don't even remember what that's called, but suit, pursuit, suit, but whatever. So, yeah. But I'm just saying, what are people doing? Like, you gotta understand what you gotta do with your time. Because we don't have any fucking control over that. And you know what's so crazy? It's crazy that people hate the regular news, and like social media things seems to be a way that you can control the media that you're looking at. And honestly, I find that to be far more dangerous, because now you go looking for stuff based off of the algorithms in which you see it, whether it's healthy for you or not, right? Whereas you avoided, like the CNNs, the basic MSNBCs, all the shit that drives you crazy since the pandemic, and all of these things or whatever, that the Trayvon Martin, I can take it back to the trauma, right? That the media has caused. You know what I'm saying? I can totally backtrack, right? Because I've always been a current event head. But some of these things, these are things locally in the community that you should be able to be known for, right? You should be able to be known for certain things right now. Not just the old things from the past and, all that other crazy shit. And that's for the people that live like that. Maybe they're not the same person, that they are today. And that's another thing. And I'm not saying I ain't with all the forgiveness shit with everything and everybody. That's not even where I'm coming from. But what I am going to say is, sometimes you can't hold people to the same standards as, from what they all remember. So, like going back to, just to digress a bit, going back to the point of meeting my childhood former friends, I was always a scrapper, right? And I don't fight that. I don't fight anymore. It's been a very long time, but that's what they know, that Shorty is short, but she got a short fuse, right? Don't come for her. She's dramatic. And that's what I'm known for. So now they can't hold me to those standards. Some of them I haven't seen in 30 years. You know what I mean? You can't hold me to the standards of the 10-year-olds me. You know what I'm saying? Or the 8-year-olds me. You know what I mean? So that versus the 40-something olds me. You know what I mean? So it's like crazy, Like you can't hold people to the same standards. One of my homeboys, he was the fastest athletic, played every sport, dominate, and he was like, he would have been a Spud Webb of NBA, but he was nice as hell, right? And then just having people like Spud Webb to be able to see that you can still get it in if you got it, right? But being a dominant athlete, I don't imagine at the same age as me, him being the same. You see what I mean? So you can't hold people to the same standards. You have to go back and meet people where they are and how they are, while you get to enjoy the things that, you remember about them, right? So that's what I mean about holding people to the same standards and shit. That's real unrealistic and shit like that, And that's that. Hold on one second. I'm gonna move my phone. It's just a lot of feedback. So that Bruce Beach thing, that was a lie. And nobody had none of that under control. So if you if you heard any Aboriginals saying that that's what they was dealing with, now you could ask them why they didn't fucking holler at you. Okay? Let's just deal with that. Let me get to these other little spicy meatballs and tangs. Get to that. Move myself out the way. I ain't that vain. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't that vain. Yeah. this down. Yeah. Sounds still there, right? Drop that one, let me know the sound didn't go. Sometimes I be doing too much. Let me know that the sound didn't go. Drop a one. Drop a one. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I have to bring this down a little bit. Gotta bring it down a little bit. All right. So let's talk about this new stamp. I thought this was really, really cute and worth mentioning. Edmonia Lewis, right? So any descendants of Edmonia Lewis, go and get your granny shit. You see what I'm saying? It just be the little things that a nigga could live off of and be all passionate about. You know what I'm saying? Let me make sure y'all can see that. You dropping one, can you see the I want to make sure. No, here you go. There she go. There she go. Okay, I want to make sure that y'all can see Edmonia Lewis. Okay, hold on. Let me take this chat down. Take the chatty patty down. Right? So isn't that cute? Look how cute. Ain't she cute? I don't really like the fact that they're just kind of, basically calling them Black Indians and stuff. But I know that that's because they're not really used to us doing shit about it. And with that being said, you kind of get what it is, and it is what you got. Right? So there's that. But this is, I thought this was pretty cool, worth mentioning. New U.S. stamp for 2022 honors Black Native American woman from upstate New York. Edmonia Lewis. New U.S. postal stamps honor Edmonia Lewis, a Black and Native American sculptor from upstate New York. A new U.S. stamp will honor an upstate New York woman who was the first Black and Native sculptor to earn international recognition. The U.S. Postal Service, that the 45th stamp in its Black Heritage series, will celebrate Edmonia Lewis, who was born in 1844, Greenbush, New York, and spent most of her career in Rome, Italy. According to the Times Union, her mother was an Ojibwa, Chippewa woman from Albany, known for embroidering moccasins, and her father was a free slave who worked as a gentleman's servant in Rensselaer County. When her mother died, Lewis was known as Wildfire while living with her maternal relatives. She identified first as a Native American. Later, she identified more as an African American. She was in two worlds. You hear the nonsense? You hear the nonsense? The way they spin it? Anyway, she identified first as a Native American. Later, she identified more as an African American. That's fucking opinion piece. So stick to the story. You see how they do the bullshit, right? She was in two worlds. Opinion. She deserves her stamp. Bobby Reno, an East Greenbush town historian who campaigned for Lewis recognition, told the Times Union, Lewis's studio became a popular 19th century attraction for American tourists with busts of prominent people like Cleopatra and Colonel Robert Gould Shaw. Her art also featured African American themes such as the celebration of newly won freedoms like the Emancipation Proclamation and peaceful, dignified depictions of her Native American heritage. As a Roman Catholic, additional works included several religious commissions. The work she produced during her prolific career evokes the complexity of her social identity and reflects the passion and independence of her artistic vision. The U.S. Postal Service said. According to the USPS, the Edmonia Lewis stamp will debut Wednesday, January 26 at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time at the Smithsonian Art Museum in Washington, D.C. The stamp, which features a portrait of Lewis based on a photograph of her in her Boston her in Boston between 1864 and 1871 will be available in post offices nationwide in panes of 20. Other new stamp designs include Kathleen Graham, the first female to head of a Fortune 500 company, folk music legend Pete Seeger, pioneering marine biologist Eugene Clark, affectionately known as the Shark Lady, the Lunar New Year, Year of the Tiger, the 50th anniversary of Title IX, the civil rights law prohibiting discrimination on the basis of sex, and tributes to women's rowing the mighty Mississippi River, pony cars, and more. Okay, so that's the end of that article there. Right? That's the end of that. But shout out to Edmonia Lewis. That was pretty fire, you know. But we want to make sure that her family and shit knows that it's worth going out there. Go on out there and talk about it, baby. If you don't do it, they won't know. So here we go. Up next, here go the crackdown, the smackdown. I love it. It's just been running out. Let it run its course. But these are things because the ones that everybody out here screaming, calling it the what you call it? What they call them? What they call them? Let me see. You know, the Mongos and my bad. The Mongos and the whatever the fucking negative shit that, people been saying. These the ones that's running down on these other ones that everybody's running down on both sides. So check this shit out. I thought this was interesting as hell. Okay. Super interesting. Give me 1 second. Let me do this too. Hold on. All right, I was able to straighten that out. I wanted to get that, like the red and stuff on the chat, but I wanted to make sure that you guys were going to be able to see it without, you know what I'm saying? Extra, or the extra or whatever. Hopefully I'm not. Do this a little. Alright, you see Moon done got her skill. You see I done came back with a motherfucking skill. I came back with some skills. Right? Activists make list of bust imposters claiming to be Native American. Okay. Dartmouth, Susan Taft-Weed was forced out as director of the school's Native American program over allegedly faking membership in the Eastern Delaware nations. They're coming for white lives. A list of allegedly fake Native Americans has begun circulating in tribal and academic circles, accusing 195 people of forcefully claiming an Indian identity for personal gain. The alleged Pretendians list is the creation of Jacqueline Keeler, a Native American writer and activist who has spent years busting fakers in politics and academia. Everyone on this list made public claims through interviews, in books authored, documentaries, and even in congressional testimony. Now, there's no lie there. There's no fucking lie there. They are also all monetizing their claims. These are not privately held beliefs. Read her introduction. We will release the names and findings of all those who are found to have no relation to the American Indian tribe they claim in the United States. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. This list is a hodgepodge with some entries containing detailed genealogical records to back up the claims, while others offer little beyond Keeler's j'accuse. The list contains both those being probed and those who have already been disavowed by tribes they claimed affiliation with. The list includes well-known imposters and claimants like Senator Elizabeth Warren and Johnny Depp. But hold on, Johnny Depp is really not lying. But anyway, and Elizabeth Warren may not be lying either. People just chose to do that because she looked different. But her grandmother told her she was Indian, and the Negro got up here on all types of social media and showed they ass like they grandma while they fought the Campfires and the natives for saying that they grandma told them. They thought the Elizabeth Warren shit was funny, as if that wasn't a mirror, smoking mirror to the same shit that they was holding up to other people, expecting other standards, right? And look at the standards they gave out. So whatever it is in 2022, you got it, because whatever you put out in 2021 and years prior, you want something better, you got to do something better. You got to move right with it, man. You got to move right with it, man. It's okay to be all right. It's okay to do the right fucking thing, motherfuckers. I've been trying to tell these niggas that why they done went all these other fucking places that ain't really got a hold of the shit. So at this point, I'm gonna need 10 people, at least 10 people, to share this shit to 10 people and tell them to share this shit to 10 people. I'm spinning the block. I'm not going nowhere. We got a lot of things coming up, a lot of fresh content to talk about, and we're going to put a little pressure on, because there's a lot of political things going on, and you guys got to make sure you're paying attention to what's going on. You got to make sure you're paying attention, right? And again, this is an opinion piece, even though it does have details of what they have in journalism. So they tell the three truths and a couple of little lies and embellishments and shit in there to make the shit sound real fucking zesty and spicy, right? But they don't, and nobody calls them out to prove everything. Fortunately, if there's anything that's made wrong in one of these major publications and it has to be taken back, it's going to be a couple of dollars involved and nobody's really going to argue, especially, if the shit ain't right. So anyway, Elizabeth Warren, Johnny Depp, of course, and others. So here is your Jacqueline Keeler, okay? This is your Jacqueline Keeler. This is the Native American writer and activist, created the list to expose fakers, okay? Nadima Agard. Let's see, hold on one second. Nadima Agard, a New York City visual artist who claims Lakota, Cherokee, and Powhatan ancestry, is named. Keeler insists Agard's heritage traces itself back to Barbados and showed genealogical records which said she backed up the assertion. So now, this is the problem for me. And I'm going to tell you why it's a little problem for me. Okay? Give me 1 second here. Let me zoom in the room a little bit. Right? And let me tell you why it's a problem for me. Now, it's a problem for me specifically because they make the truth appear like it's a lie, right? Lakota, Cherokee, Powhatan ancestry, okay? Now, Keeler insists that the heritage trace itself back to Barbados. Okay, and what is Barbados? The West Indies. So wouldn't that still make this particular individual West Indian, American Indian? Ethnicity could possibly be different, but then again, how is the perspective of this Native American going to answer to the King Philip's War, right? So this particular Native American is not even from our neck of the woods. And yet, they're attacking academia, trying to get ahead of the curve so that we don't insert ourselves. Happening right now. People have made a mess out of shit. Right? Acting like they did something. What they coming to do? They said they came to make a fucking mess. I got the old recordings and shit like that. I got all that shit. So, but at the end of the day, you know, they can't take nobody's truth from them. I don't give a fuck how mad a motherfucker be. Feet small, little wig, flabby titties, whatever the fuck, right? Whatever name you motherfucking made up, and good. Right? Facts. Right? I am good and straight with the shit that I put out. Nothing that I put out is going to get you or your kids or your mom and them looking funny at you. Right? Or getting looked at funny. Right? Everybody in love till it's time to love through something tough. Right? Everything funny till it ain't. Right? Who you loving, who you want to be hugging. But with niggas that be thugging, bugging. What'd you get out of it? So, perspective, that was my little fucking soliloquy. You know, yeah, that was my little fucking soliloquy regarding, you know, this girl saying that she's faking because of it going back to Barbados, as if Barbados ain't a motherfucking Indian. If they ain't got no fucking Indians in Barbados. So I don't respect that. All right. And I had to insert that shit there. So let's get back to this chicky, chew out chew. All right. Let me go back over here. Goddamn corner where I was. Fucking chill. I'm gonna sit my ass over here and parlay a little bit. Right? While we talk about this one here and the shit she got going on. Sit right there with that. Put myself in the motherfucking counter. Alright? Motherfucker ain't put me on time. I time myself out. I'm feeling great, y'all. So, okay, so now this is what they talk about her Barbados and show genealogical records, which she said backed up her assertion, right? So now she thinks she cute. Thinks she got an N1 on this person, and the job in this particular regard was a fucking witch hunt, right? For trying to make these people look like they're not real, and these motherfuckers also is. Right? So now this is all proof, and I'm gonna try and contact this name, Natiive Agar, right? I'd like to try and get in contact with her, and definitely shout some things out, because now this is all about perspective, right? And understanding of the law and history, especially if you are able to insert yourself within the, you know, the annals of time. Throughout all the time, these motherfuckers was here, baby. It's nothing that they can do about it. They can be mad all they want. And shout out to the beloved Max Julian. May he rest in peace. And they can call him all the goatee pimps he want. Right? He looked just like my motherfucking stepdaddy and the OGs that I remember back in the days with that hair, right? That, yeah, so just that smooth shit. I watched all those movies. I always watched Josephine and Bushrod. One of my favorite westerns, especially with them in it, and it was really dope. It shows a lot of American Indian history attached directly through their little kind of Bonnie and Clyde story. But yeah, shout out to Max Julian, who died the other day. We'll get a picture of him up there at some point. Give me 1 second, un momento. But this lady here is mad. Agar denied faking her ancestry and called the allegations from Keeler a witch hunt and sent her own slew of documents, which she said backed up her claim. Now, we haven't been able to hear anything about this particular dispute. Many of the accused sit in prestigious academic perches Dartmouth Assistant Undergraduate Dean Susan Taft Weed is named. In 2015, Weed was forced out as director of the school's Native American program over allegedly faking membership in the Eastern Delaware Nation. See, now that is something different than the instance with the Susan Taft Weed, the lady that we showed in the beginning of the article. That is something completely different than this situation here with Nadima Agar, okay? Who says that they are Lakota, Cherokee, and Powhatan. That is a genealogy-based thing where this woman, Nadima Agar, cannot be disputed if the genealogy is exactly what she says that it is. But now this lady, Susan Taft Weed, that's named, she was the director at Dartmouth Assistant Undergraduate Dean, okay, at fucking Dartmouth. And she claimed to have membership in the Eastern Delaware Nations. So if she's done anything to get any loans or anything based off of that, and the fact now this is where we are able to sue, still, every fucking mistake that they make, we are going to be able to sue because they did what? They shut us out of federal activities that they extended to who? Federally recognized tribes. When the Indian cannot be denied any what? Federal activity. Understand that? So where is the tears coming from that everybody's so mad at still? Now that niggas is completely understand that they are Indian, if they are still angry at anything other than the shit that they did not fix, won't fix, can't get with, too chicken shit to fucking conquer it, and that's bars and I ain't mean that shit. But if they can't get their shit together, then guess what? Guess what? Because there's solutions all over the place for the Indian. And you have to, sometimes you have to provoke something and use it the same as an allegory to state your case. So even in reverse, this woman is still exhibiting racism by saying that the one whose genealogy traces, prejudice, the one whose genealogy traces to Barbados, as if that makes them any less American Indian than this person who is from a tribe that's west of the fucking Mississippi that wasn't here in the Old Dominion with our ancestors during the time that she's talking basura about. You feel me? So instead of getting mad and people talking all crazy and blowing fucking, use your fucking noodle, because they trying to make a nigga forget how to move. So use your noodle right. That's all I'm saying. Use your noodle right. But these people, she got some nerve. I'm gonna finish with the rest of this, and I'm gonna move on to the next thing. Many of the accused did in prestigious academic purchase. So at the same time, I love it because now they are telling us exactly where to look for the motherfucker that's doing shit behind the back doors while these niggas is talking about they aboriginal. And these niggas is the chiefest, right? The issue of Pretendians made headlines last month when Canada's top Indigenous health expert, Carrie Bourassa, was ousted after her claims of membership in the Natiive Nation were debunked. Researchers found her people actually originated from Eastern Europe and Russia. Keeler, a member of the Navajo Nation, so now you know, niggas done pissed off the Navajos, right? Who was born in Cleveland to parents who went there as part of a voluntary relocation program. How many knew that there's a lot of Navajos there in Cleveland because of that reason? And why are they there? And why are they there? Is that some type of homeland that belonged to them that didn't get covered get greedy under the treaty thing? You know, because sometimes, you know, when the Wasichu, even when they do stuff wrong, they still thought that they were so evil and clever that even the things that they did wrong making themselves right now, especially the way the ancestors giving it up. And that's why We talking about the word around the campfire. This is what's going on in Indian country for real. That is of concern to the up and coming, misclassified American Indian political party people. Party people. Party people. Right? So now this lady brags, I am enrolled Navajo Nation citizen. My mom's full Navajo, and my dad's 5/8 Yenton Dakota, but they had to choose a tribe. My grandparents didn't even speak English, only Navajo. And here go the lady I've been telling motherfuckers, watch this lady. Right? Keeler said she was inspired to create the document this year in response to a New York Times op-ed by Claudia Lawrence, a freelance journalist who has since been accused of being a Pretendian. The op-ed was a letter of advice to Deb Haaland, a Native American who had just been nominated to serve as President Biden's Interior Secretary. Told y'all about Deb. So, do you see how all of this shit got inserted into shit that was supposed to be running smooth, but like, you know, I'm sad for the motherfuckers that, you know, put themselves back. Let me just say that, and I'm just fucking stop with that shit. Fucking lamentations for the fucking foolish. The foolish, the greedy, the abusive, the needy. It's fucking whatever. Alright, so that's that. I'm also going to put this in the Discord. Definitely going to put this in the Discord. And if you are on Clubhouse, go to No Grandma Killers, click the little green house, go to Indigenous Americans room, and click the little green house at the top. Add yourself as a member. Go to Dub House Scholars, where we're going to be dripping, dragging, and making sure that these motherfuckers with the bad information is being exposed. They're going to be held by what they fucking say and what they put out. And then that's that, right? Because these motherfuckers got fresh shit where they told fresh lies in 2021, and then the year ain't even that far in, and these niggas lying already. So we gonna start just making sure we ain't gonna say nothing. We just gonna clap back with their own shit, right? So that way people should be careful what they say, right? And they should be careful what they say. And then this way, when they have to go back and eat those words, and they gotta eat those words, you know? What else we got coming up? Okay, so we have, let me see. That Bruce Beach shit got me pissed off. But okay. I'm gonna leave that alone. Right? Oh, I need y'all to do me a little favor too. We're gonna talk about that. I'll save that for the end. Hold on a second. Let me save this for the end. Cause save that for the end. Hold on 1 second. Woo, 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 woo. Up next. This one right here. Okay. No, what did I do? There we go. All right. I thought this was all right here. All right. You know how in that Biggie song, Sky's the Limit. How's everybody doing, ladies and gentlemen? All right. Like the teacher on Charlie Brown. All right. Whatever. You had to fucking be there. You had to be there. You had to be there. So, this is 3 Rhode Island towns adopt land acknowledgements honoring Native American tribes. Okay? Not too long ago, college campuses and gatherings of left-wing activists were the only places where you're likely to hear a land acknowledgement statement. Now you only have to go as far as Barrington Town Hall. Over the last year, a few towns across Rhode Island have started honoring the area's original Native American inhabitants by adopting formal land acknowledgement statements that are read at council meetings. Warren started the trend this summer, followed by South Kingston and Barrington. It seemed like the appropriate next step to really owning our history, said Warren Town Council President Kerry Cronin. Unlike the other towns, Warren doesn't require that its land acknowledgement statement be read at every council meeting, but the full text has been printed on a sign that was recently erected outside Warren Town Hall, welcoming visitors to Sowams, the ancestral home of the Pocanokit people. Ow! Boop, boop, boop. Right. Took your lighter. It's one of the several new historic markers that have gone up around town in recent years, all highlighting the history of Warren's Native people and the town's role in the slave trade. Cronin and others credited the work of David Weed, the coordinator for the Sowams Heritage Project, who hopes to see the equivalent of the Blackstone Valley National Heritage Corridor established in the region. A frieze placed on the front wall of Warren Town Hall shows an earlier attempt at acknowledging the Sowams with the likeness of Massasoit Usamiquin, and this is by the Providence Journal, and the photo by David Del Polo. Also, okay, so this is a really dope picture right here. Shout out to the Pocanokit. There's a lot of history here. Oh, sorry, I just ruined that. Hold on, let me go back. There's a lot of history here, Weed said. People drive by it every day but don't really know the whole story. William Guy, that's the Sagamore. William Guy, the Sagamore of the Pocanokit, told the Providence Journal this summer that he was gratified to see Warren trying to right the wrongs that have been done. While the Pocanokits are not federally recognized tribe, they are still an active presence in the East Bay and played a role in crafting the land acknowledgement statements that were adopted in Warren and Barrington. The Narragansett Indian tribe does not consider the Pocanokits to be a legitimate tribe. So, even if they can have cousins there and everything, you still need other Native American tribes to recognize you as a Native American tribe. The same way that Indians will have to recognize Indians. Keep up. Depends on how you're looking at it, your perspective. But this is dope right here. And who cares that they don't think they're a legitimate tribe? They have the exact same ancestors and so on and so forth, and still their own unique identity. Right? So far the land acknowledgement statements have been universally well received, officials say. I'm not aware of any pushback or anything negative, Cronin said, adding that there was a stark contrast with the responses that she received after Warren opted to fly a Black Lives Matter flag outside Town Hall. Wow. Okay. So, there were no problems. Hold on a second. So there were no problems with them changing this particular part. However, when they tried to fly Black Lives Matter flag, people got upset behind that. So, yeah. After Warren formally recognized the Pocanokit, town manager Kate Machad sent out a letter to other towns across the state, inviting them to contact her with questions if they were interested in following suit. That prompted a discussion at South Kingston Town Council meeting, where some members suggested adopting a similar statement. Present-day South Kingston was the site of the Great Swamp Massacre, the bloodiest event in Rhode Island history. In 1675, a white colonial militia slaughtered hundreds of Narragansetts, including women and children, even though the tribe had remained neutral up until that point in King Philip's War. Now, I'm gonna stop there. The links are available for everybody. We know how that ended up, but again, this goes back to the same previous article that we just discussed, where you have this lady who was a Navajo saying that trying to discredit someone's genealogy to Barbados, right? As if that separates Barbados separates you from being American Indian, which it doesn't. Okay. Any more than the Narragansett saying that they do not recognize the Pocanokit, and they don't recognize the Pocanokit because of, well, I know there was a myriad of different reasons, but for one, it would have to be that they didn't change the laws on people that claimed Pocanokit ancestry. If you said that you were a Pocanokit, you would get your ass kicked. And this can happen in like 2010, 11, 12. This wasn't, this lasted for hundreds of years, right? Laws on the books. So that would be, so now through all of these different time errors, now saying that that is what you are is a problem. So them being able to have that eliminated, and now here it is, you have this other tribe that they are an extension of that very same tribe that federally say a different thing. But historically, here they are in their town. I absolutely love it, getting all the respect to the Pocanokit. I absolutely love it. So, regardless of how it looks, it always looks good when you're doing what it is that you're supposed to do. So, and there's that. And how's that for letting your truth work for you, right? Not running around here being all crazy and angry and shit like that. Okay. So hold on, let's move on to the next. So we got some new folks in the chat. I want to thank you for the cash apps. Thank you. I do see the PayPal. Thank you very much. I don't know if y'all want me to say y'all names, especially these different names that I don't know who they are. I do want to thank you, but if it looks like it's going to, put your privacy out there, then don't even risk it. Or even if you're somebody that was listening to them fools over there and you want to come back and don't know how to say how. I don't know. It could be that too. If you want me to say so, I will absolutely mention your name, right? If you want to say so, I'll definitely give you a shout out. Thank you very much. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so the next article, let me get this out. All right. So, but you see, okay, so, they also think that they seem to know how people are going to vote. How is the Native American going to vote, right? And I think it's weird. And the reason why I say so is I don't really like how they think that they're predicting how things are going to go, particularly as far as the votes are concerned. And the reason why I say that is because understanding how the census had worked prior to, back in 2018, and how that people identifying the new data that they have, is not predicting what Native Americans are going to do in totality. That does include American Indians as well, right? It does include them as well. whether people know it or not. And it's like a dual thing going on, right? Where if people are really trying to absorb anything in terms of public and private, you got that right, motherfucker. You got that right. Because there's things that they can do and things that they can't, right? And they can only do these things as a result of the things that we're not doing, not necessarily because they can. And we can change a lot of those things if we put ourselves in the position to do such. No one is stopping us from doing that except people that stop motherfuckers from doing what they gotta do, their civic responsibilities and shit. Because there are people that are provocateurs and interrupters of that particular connection of citizenry, and how things are supposed to work, benefits and things of that nature regarding the American Indian, different protections, understandings of what the responsibility are that comes with it. So, and being able to bring your peoples into the next level, right? Niggas is trying to do YouTube likes and shit, but where you trying to bring your tribe to? Hope not no synthetic, you know what I'm saying? Activation. I hope that's but anyway, yeah, I dropped this too. They think that they have so many things predicted, and it does affect different areas, but I just wanted to run through this. The past two election cycles have demonstrated the power of the Native American vote. In federal elections, Native American voters are recognized as a consequential electoral subgroup in many key races in both 2018 and 2020. This includes the 2020 Democratic victory in Arizona, their first since 1996 in that state, and President Biden's victory in Wisconsin. So now, you can check this out. I provided the links and all that. I ain't even gonna go too far into it, but I'm telling y'all, based off of those, crazy wild things that people have said in these forums, in these different platforms, in the hallways, in some of the groups that we're not in, some of the groups that we used to be in, some of the groups that are now collapsed or anything like that. Some of those groups have bred trouble that I guess people are not really understanding what type of trouble has been created while the provocateurs have stolen all of this time. Their families, the people that you be calling the other ones, they be coming from the other side, like a flank, that flank position, football, flank from the other side and shit. Simultaneous rocks getting thrown at the motherfucking misclassified Indian, honey. But they're all the same sandwich. I don't know why people keep saying the niggas that still think they black. Some of them really is black. Leave them the fuck alone. They are black and they have right to self-identify the same as you. Shut the fuck up. Some of them are black. They are new black to this land. Yes, they are. First generation, maybe even second, right? 1950s, 1960s, there's a couple of things that could have happened in between that time, right? So, and that is when a high amount, especially came to go to the college campuses. Yeah. So remember, they got their free passes, their visas and stuff. Right after Nigeria and these new countries got established, right after they got founded, they sent them here, those political, the children, descendants of the political bodies of the newly formed Nigeria, the newly formed different nations over there, so forth, Ghana, the new one being Zaire is gone. That's like Congo Republic and Congo and Democrat. It's like 3 different countries now. Zaire is gone. For anybody that knows. But yeah, so they got all that going on. They have new different entities that are brand new, not even 100 years old. Some of these places are younger than our parents. Some of these African nations are younger than our parents. Some are younger than our grandparents. So there's no ancient antiquity to that. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's that. So now again, they think that that they're going to talk about predictions as far as votings. So now they have different algorithms, especially with their lean towards Democrats. That is how they've been able to perpetuate a lot of things. So you can kind of tell, especially based off of that, because it doesn't really suit them or the community. It just kind of lines up certain people's pockets, and they still haven't done anything great or extravagant for their own. Now, I know for a fact these people do not speak. Homegirl in that last article, she do not speak for the Navajo Nation. So understand that even these newspaper articles end up being opinion pieces. You have to pick it apart and only take the facts, not those added things like the lady was brought up like an Indian, right? Now they try to say, but she was torn between two sides. That's a fucking opinion. She didn't know no other side. She didn't know any other side. So that's where they feel compelled to have to mix in black into her heritage. In which case, she may be, but not, that only in complexion, not in relation, right? Because especially in that area of East Greenbush, years ago, I showed the Black Dutch, land of the blacks, and also the British, the original Britons, right? That came from those families. They ended up Dutch captives, some of them. Okay, so the Britons, the De Britos, they still have the land patent down in like Greenwich Village, like Allen Street or all down nearby where they have Chinatown and stuff like that. The Bowery, all those areas, Battery Park area, lands of the blacks. But they were Dutch people that had swarthy, dark, black complexion, and primarily they were in the New York colony, particularly upstate. So once you get past, like, let's say, Poughkeepsie, where you start to see places like Palatine's, that's where they settled. And they settled in those places to remove themselves from hostilities, from slave uprisings, because this is where your few African slaves really did come into New York and particularly Rhode Island. Okay? 10, 5, 1, 3, 30. It was never no 200s. It shows exactly where they're going to this day, right? If they really felt some type of way, right? They call Rhode Island and plantations. My niece's birth certificate say plantations on it. Right? So, but these are the things that, a lot of people don't really understand. When it comes down to this history, you can't let them tell it. You can't let them just run their mouth, because these people throwing dubs on it and they acting like we real predictable. And those things that include them, they really do include us. But if you getting caught up in a native is this, a native is that, you better understand what's going on. The law says something very specific, and it ain't that. And when it's time to address that problem, we're not going to have a problem with that. But the reason that they made it a problem still gives us the way out. So that's not even something I'm going to be mad at. Not even something I'm going to be mad at. When all these things right now, niggas done just let that shit go by. At this point, niggas should know if you have some fucking boosters, you supposed to go get your Manhattan ass beach shit. You on top of your shit. You on top of your shit. So, let me get to the next one. Hold on one second. Let me get the next one. Hold on a second. Oh, this lumber company. Okay, so check this out. Lumber company gives Washington Native American tribes back ancestral land, right? A Native American tribe in Washington got present when a lumber company returned more than 1,000 acres of their ancestral land. Port Blakely Companies, a 150-year-old company based in the U.S. and New Zealand, returned 2 miles of waterfront land and 125 acres of tidelands near the southern Puget Sound to the Squaxin Island tribe, which has lived along the South Sea for centuries. The company said on a December 14th release. The gesture is part of a larger land back campaign that aims to return indigenous land to their original owners. The deal between Port Blakely and Squaxin people also includes an agreement for the tribe to buy approximately 875 acres of upland working forest for the company for an undisclosed price. The lumber company acquired the property after a treaty was signed in 1854. The land return restores the tribe's direct access to the Puget Sound and to some of the richest shellfish beds in the region. The main reason tribal ancestors based themselves in the area for millennia. So, needless to say, lots of people are getting their land back, and it is so funny how people have just excluded themselves out of everything that they don't understand. And the reason why I say that, especially with respect to people getting up from the East Coast and going and mixing into these tribes in the West Coast, right? And this is where they ended up. And people had no idea. So when you think it has nothing to do with you, and it absolutely does. So it may be a time where not only, you not only do you have to prove that you are, let's say, the child of somebody, but there may be a time where you have to prove you are a relative of someone that didn't have children and they gave something to their beloved niece or nephew. There was a lot of that going on, a lot of property and things that got transferred. That got transferred. So, which means your uncle that went out there and didn't have any kids, maybe he worked for this company since, as a prospector or things of that nature or whatever. And now this company has now returned that land. What if the people that are returning the land to are actually the stockholders, right? So, is that better? Is that better? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Who was that? Get that. Who was that? Spam bot. Hold on, let me get this girl out of here. Who was that? I just saw some Anna somebody. The spam bots. The spammy ass. Out the way. Hold on a second. That's all that answers out. So, okay, I'm glad y'all can hear. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. But let me get to the next one. So that is also inside the Discord as well. The links are also in the bio of this video. Yeah. And that one's that right there. So, let me get to the next one. And last but not least, oh, okay. Here we go. I'll put the chat up there. So this is colonial America files. But there's a lot of things you can find. And this is going to be pre-Revolutionary War. Okay? Pre-Revolutionary War. Completely interesting files. This is just a preview of some of the things that I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to do a class showing people how to scout and locate and find their colonial records during these time frames. But I definitely want to make sure that this is definitely, I want to make sure, put the disclaimer up. This is for the advanced. The novice can certainly purchase it if they want to, but you're really going to have to do some work. It's very different outside of the scope of census records, which a lot of people are used to, but this is going to be a formula to help you identify which time. Not only do you know if you descend from one tribe, but you need to know all of the lineages that you do descend from. And it absolutely does make a difference. It does matter. It absolutely matters. For a lot of reasons, especially if there is a strongholds based off of one being from a treaty signer, signatory, all sorts of different variables based off of the different lineages that you will descend from. You can see which people were detribalized prior during the colonial days, lost their reservation, or anytime post Revolutionary War, or even post antebellum Reconstruction era, anytime during in between. So with that being said, even prior to and during leading up to the establishment of Oklahoma, okay, in the bottom of the 1900s or the 20th century. So with that being said, it's been a lot of thought put into it, and I know that people been getting a lot of trash, but these is gonna be the defining moments. I definitely wish everybody, if you respect the new year, if that's what you're dealing with, that's the type of time you're on. I wish you the happiest of happy New Year's for sure. And I look forward to this Gregorian calendar putting in a lot of work. And I'm gonna make it look real smooth, real easy, because it is. Moon ain't never going out of content. The link will be available soon. Thank you. And I should have put this on I'm getting messages that I should have put this on Clubhouse. Also, next time I'll do a simulcast with Clubhouse. But I definitely want to thank everybody for thinking of me. Thanks for the people that called, text, sent well wishes, the donations. We definitely appreciate that. The email's back up and running again. Y'all know it was a hot mess. But we got that together. Everything straight gets straight, man. I got to the bottom of that. So the 1700s, the 1600s, how do you move beyond the census records, right? So this is and I also am gonna do like a brick wall breakdown too, to get people past their first humps, which usually make them frustrated, which is like the 1800s, especially if they don't go past the 1870s, they just think they're a slave, they just think all of the most terrible things. And then they also don't realize that some slavery was legal, and at the point where we can find that they were enslaved anytime after, and there is something tangible, like Duke University or Georgetown, or, something that's still tangible for people to be able to follow tort and bring some sort of redress of grievances for. So that's really it. But there's the, let me show y'all the spot right here. Let me show y'all. These are the actual documents, and this is what I like to use. I like to see the actual natural shiznism. You know what I'm saying? So these proclamations, and it talks about the people that were there, the governors in chief, over the majesty's province. It names New York province and the territories, depending there in America, and the vice admiral of the same. So these are your proclamations. These are different maps. It's also going to give you different things. So now, the nations of far Indians live with part of Canada taken from the map of the Louisiana, done by, and it says who, and this was 17, I believe, 58 right here, right? Nations of far Indians. Far Indians. They're not far if they're in Louisiana, are they? They're not far. They're not far. So I'm gonna drop this. This link, I believe, is going to be there. This is actually, I'm just kind of showing you a preview. Definitely with the cookies. I have several more that I'm going to show you. I did want to look up the lady that's going to be on the stamp. I thought that would be cool. Hold on one second. I thought that would be all right. So I'm going to talk about that Bruce Beach shit too, because I didn't really appreciate people lying shit like they helping motherfuckers and they ain't helping. They helping they fucking self. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit one bit. Let me get this. Okay. Okay. Alright, so let's check out homegirl that was on the stamp. Right? Let's check out homegirl that was on the stamp. Edmonia. She was born. Hold on a second. Okay, hold on a second. I got it. Didn't have to. Departure of France, 1875. So it does also speak that she did leave and go to France, right? They did that. James Baldwin did it. Plenty of others did it. James Baldwin did it. Lots of people did it. They got up and left. Josephine Baker. Plenty of people. So here she is, Edmonia, and then she's leaving to go to France. And look, ethnicity, American, right? Birth date, 1844. Departure port, Le Havre, France, July 1st, 1875. And this is the ship name that she was on. Whole Indian left. right? East Greenbush. She died in London. Let's see. Right? East Greenbush, Rensselaer County, New York is her birthplace. 4th of July, she was born. She died in 1907. Okay? She died in 1907 in London, England. The cemetery that she is buried in is St. Mary's Roman Catholic Cemetery. So how many of her descendants do you know realize that they're American Indians? American werewolf in London. Out this motherfucker. You see how this shit could shake out and it could go? So when you can't find certain people, you have to not limit them to the places that you may just know them to be. So when you have the histories, you're able to, and not only insert yourself, but insert other families that have intermingled and intertwined, and thus far the gimmies that got you here. How it'll make sense and make it make sense. And you track the people down. Now there's probably things, of course, in London, in France, in Italy, and all of those various places throughout Europe that belongs to the American Indian over here, the descendants, the nieces, nephews, any next of kin to Edmonia Mary Lewis. That's for sure. So while we're bitching about that, who wants to go grave digging? Who wants to go dig up the ancestors so they can stop their fake DNA projects chasing themselves because they know we don't like DNA? When I've always said that I would take the DNA against the dead people, not none of these people for their databases and for them to be in control, right? Ha! Look at them trying to insert those things in. Don't be sleep. Don't be sleep. So, you know what it is. You know what it is. You know what we do. It's a beautiful day in Indian country. That's it and that's all. I ain't gonna stick around too long, but I absolutely will be back. I will be back. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. We're gonna get it shaking. Let's get to the bottom of it all. Yo, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Love, peace, and bear grease. Peace, a la chique.